Okay, well, welcome everybody to the kickoff event for the Call for Code Honoring Everyday Heroes Challenge. With me, we've got folks from IBM as well as from Samsung who are running the competition this year. So we have all the details you need for this spot challenge at the IBM Biz URL on screen there, and we've added it to the bottom of the screen as well. So anything we show today, you can find it under that URL, and you can register for the challenge, find out about the rules, and we do have upcoming sessions as well on Tuesdays and Thursdays through the next couple of weeks. This session, like the rest of them, will all be recorded, so you can come back to them, share them with your teammates, your colleagues, things like that. Okay, so as we get started, let me send over the introductions to John.
Thank you, Daniel. So my name is John Wallachy. I'm one of the IBM developer advocates. You can see that Daniel and I are twins. I happen to be the more handsome twin. And so what do I do at IBM? I speak at conferences. I write workshops. I mentor at hackathons. I love to talk about Call for Code, inspire developers to build with IBM and IBM Cloud Edge technologies. I think we'll turn it over to Julia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julia Wong. I'm a product manager at Samsung, and glad to be part of Call for Code this year. Over to you, Eric.
Thanks, Julia. Hi, my name is Eric Wong. I'm also in product management at Samsung, working in what we call the B2B enterprise department or division. And we're just happy that you're here to join us today to talk through what we have to offer.
Excellent. Thank you, everybody. And I'm Daniel Crook. I'm the Chief Technology Officer for the Call for Code program. I've been there since day one, so I can give you a little bit of the history of what we've done with Call for Code over the years. It started off in 2018 as a single multi-month competition once a year, where we inspired developers to use IBM technology to create solutions to the world's greatest challenges. So it includes within the umbrella, officially, we have IBM as the founding partner, David Clark Cause as the creator, the United Nations Human Rights Officer as our NGO charitable partner, and the Linux Foundation is there to support the innovation that comes out of the challenge, which really the goal of anything we do with Call for Code is not just that Tech for Good program, but we want to see the applications live on, make a difference in communities, and also attract a large ecosystem of users and contributors like we have for Samsung in the Pira community, which was one of our Call for Code global winners a few years ago. So the program has been around since 2018, and we've had 4 global challenges so far. And the focus has been generally, it started out in disasters. How do you handle natural disasters? How do you handle firefighters maybe affected by those wildland firefighters? Last year, we switched it over to climate change. So instead of treating the symptoms, making sure we can go after the causes. We also added during the pandemic a second track to last year's global challenge, which was to take on the social and business aspects of the pandemic. And we also added a program to handle how technology can be used in a positive way to make a positive difference in the challenges we face as a society with racial injustice. So Call for Code as a program, lots of different activities. We've got the global competition, but also spot challenges like the one you'll hear about today that run for a limited period and also have their own competition structure, their own theme. The key goal I mentioned earlier is we not only want to recognize the innovation, provide cash prizes, provide recognition, provide connections, potentially to investors or anybody that can support those teams. But we do want to make sure we also support the project as an open source project. So after this challenge, this spot challenge, as well as in the global one, where we have some finalists I'll tell you about shortly, is we want to take that raw innovation, imperfect as it may be, give the correct ecosystem support around it to ensure that it's got its functional requirements, its non-functional requirements like security addressed. And we want to be able to test that technology in the field with its intended users. And we want to make sure that that innovation lives on as a sustainable project. So that's really at the core of the DNA of Call for Code. And you can see the 14 projects that are open source projects already at the Linux Foundation. If you go to linuxfoundation.org, just look at the projects page, you'll see the Call for Code umbrella there. And those are projects covering all of the different challenges I had mentioned before. And in the current year, we're coming up to our award ceremony. So we just announced the top 5 global finalists that come from around the world. There's also a university prize finalists, and there's also regional award. So for example, if a solution maybe is not transferable or applicable across the world, it may be something that can make a difference in a local area. So we have some great solutions. One is Project Scavenger. This is focused around responsible production and consumption, one of the UN Sustainable Development Goals that we laid out as a prompt for this challenge. Plenty, another solution that's around both zero hunger and responsible production and consumption, a way to track what's not being wasted at home. Green Farm is a solution for working between consumers and producers to optimize the use of harvests and making sure that people are connected to the food that they consume. Saf Water, it's a solution from India around monitoring local water quality and providing alerts to communities, those with feature phones or those with smartphones, giving them an easy to consume dashboard in response to one of the developers' own experience with poisoning in his community. And honestly, this is a browser extension that folks can install to understand as they're doing online shopping, the impact of what they're buying and the company behind what they're buying to make more informed decisions. So you can learn more about these projects as well as find out who is the top challenge winner, which we will support a deployment with in 2022. All of them have the opportunity to be released as open source projects, the Linux Foundation, where you can explore the code, interact with the teams, and put them to work in your communities. So with that, let me hand it over to John. And John is going to talk you through the Samsung Spot Challenge, the Everyday Heroes Challenge that fits within the ecosystem of the Call for Code Global Initiative.
Thank you, Daniel. I, too, am very eager to find out who wins the Call for Code 2021. Amazing set of finalists, and it's going to be pretty exciting. I think we're going to do a live stream. We're going to invite the worldwide community to join the award ceremony. That's coming up on November 16th. Encourage everyone to join, and we'll hopefully get a chance to make some big announcements 2 weeks from now. But we're here today with Samsung. Really delighted that they're joining us for the Spot Challenge. And it's the Call for Code Honoring Everyday Heroes Challenge. And we're going to scroll. So what are we going to cover in the next 30 minutes or so? We're going to do an introduction to the Spot Challenge. So why, everyday heroes and what you can build. We'll talk through the timeline. We'll talk about some of the resources that you can build with. So we've got a number of activities coming up over the next 3 weeks that you can join us. Eric and Julia and Daniel and I will be back to talk through some of the resources that you can build into your projects. We're also going to talk through how to come and talk to us. So we've got a Slack channel. I'll show you the Slack channel. And of course, at every virtual hackathon and hackathon, there's some prizes. And so we'll talk about the prizes and what you can win when you build and submit your project. We'll also talk about the rules and the criteria and how to submit. So make sure that you tune in and get your submission in by the end of the timeline. I think November 20th is the end of our challenge. All right, so let's dig in here because this is pretty exciting. So what is the challenge all about, right? We've got everyday heroes, and we know that everyday heroes look back over the pandemic, look around us, and so many people leaned in to make society to continue to work. And, we should go and recognize them. So the challenge itself is really not so much, the first responders and the EMS and the medical profession, they were amazing. We should honor them. But there's other people in our communities, right? The delivery persons, the math teachers, the education system really stood up last year throughout the pandemic and helped our children through very difficult virtual learning experiences. And so there is, if look around your community, there's so many people that we can help with technology. And so that's the challenge. So we want you to build a solution using some technologies from IBM, some technologies from Samsung, and go and help someone in your community that really needs to be sort of celebrated. All right, so that's sort of the scope. And now there's a huge breadth of types of things you can build with that. And we're going to give you some resources to, maybe create your solutions. We want you to run on top of a mobile device. So Samsung is going to, as part of one of their prizes, we'll talk about in a moment, we want you to build so that it runs on a Samsung mobile device. And then we're going to give you some money because it's always great to take some money to the bank. So $15,000 US divided amongst your teammates. And then they've got Samsung is going to send you guys, who the winners are, a Galaxy Z Fold. And, I don't know about you, but every time I go to the store, I look at it and I've touched it here, Julie. I don't know if you've got one yet. I don't have one. You guys can send me one. It'd be really great. But I'm like, oh, this is awesome. And so if you spend some time on the big screen, it folds in half. It's beautiful. So do take a look at, and if you, for no other reason, help everyday heroes, but for no other reason, this is it, right? Get a Z Fold 3. And so that'd be pretty fun. The next thing that we want you to go do is if you're the winner, we're going to help you. And Daniel talked about, it's not just take the money to the bank and get a cool gift. It's work with us, work with the community, make your project an open source effort, build a community around it, and actually deploy it. And that's the most fun that you'll see. Seeing your project go help someone is just amazing. And that we've doing this now for 4 years. It's the continued journey afterwards is pretty exciting. We've done some amazing things, and the teams and the communities have done some amazing things around Project Owl and Agrali and the Prometeo folks. Looking forward to this year as well. All right, so what do we've got in terms of resources? We've got a number of live streams. You'll be back with us on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you're here today on Tuesday, November 2nd. We'll be back on November 4th to talk about IBM Cloud and Watson AI. I'll sort of lead that discussion. And then next week, and I'm going to tab through each of these and we'll talk through the agendas. We want you to kind of register for each one of them in Crowdcast. November 9th, next Tuesday, Julia and Eric and the Samsung developer team is going to join us and talk about Knox, and we'll hear from them and their toolkit's very cool set of resources. And then I'll be back on November 11th to talk about the Weather Company and some of the Weather Company APIs. And then we want you to submit. So we're going to help you through some office hours and then submission guidelines and criteria on what you need to do to get your project submitted in time to win that 15K and the Z Fold 3 for each of your teammates. All right, so let's walk through. So today, what are we going to cover? We're going to talk about the agenda, talk about the project itself, the criteria, the various resources we've got, and we're going to narrate throughout all of those. And then, like I said, on Thursday, we're going to be back to talk about Watson AI and IBM Cloud, how to deploy your backend solutions. Maybe it's a website, maybe it's a backend database, whatever's in your project, and some AI capabilities possibly. We'll talk about what you could build with your project. So come and join me at 11 a.m. Eastern time. All right, so do hit the register. If you click this link, it will let you register, get a reminder, put it on your calendar, come back, and I'll see you in a couple of days. And then next Thursday, so Julia and Eric, you guys want to talk about your SDKs for a minute? Get everyone excited about what's coming?
Yeah. Thanks, John. Yeah. So for our session next week, we're going to walk through what we have in terms of developer SDKs for Samsung Knox. So this is kind of like things above and beyond what you get with Android Developer to get kind of like more access to different features on Samsung devices. And then also we have a kind of like a beta set of SDKs and APIs that we call a Samsung Toolkit, which we've kind of developed over the last year and a half to look at the space of using these devices for not necessarily kind of consumer applications, but these kind of like operational type applications that we thought would fit quite nicely with the Call for Code challenge. Back to you, John.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you, Eric. I'm gonna look forward to those talks too. And then on November 11th, if you're building a solution that helps delivery person maybe or someone in your community, weather becomes a big factor, right? Hyper local weather details on what's going to happen over the next, forecast period. And so we've got a great set of weather company APIs that you might want to integrate into your solution. And so come back and I'll take you through some examples of some of the APIs, how to get access to them. Should be pretty fun. I think, we're playing fun games. So remember this weekend, if you're in the US, you will switch to whatever daylight savings. And so the time shifts will happen. ADT, I think that's like Atlantic daytime.
Yeah, it's Puerto Rico. I think it's
Puerto Rico, yeah. And
right.
if you live in Nova Scotia, do join us at the right time. All right, so do be careful because we are going to shift in the next couple of weeks. All right, to that. Now, the next session that we've got is we want to help you submit your project, and so we've got some office hours planned on November 16th, and then back on the 18th. So that you can put your package together and get it into us by the 20th, because November 20th, button it up. I think it's 11:59 p.m. Pacific time is when the challenge ends. Get your submission in, and then hopefully in 3 weeks later, we'll announce the winners. Let's talk about, so if you do sign up, there's a sign up link, I think, in the bottom of our chat here, at the bottom of every one of those event links. You can sign up for the challenge, get yourself an IBM Cloud account. Matter of fact, we're going to take you through how to get yourself a Samsung developer account as well. Daniel mentioned that we've got a whole set of open source projects, and we wanted you to jump over to GitHub. I'll just paste that link into, I think it's still in my buffer. So Call for Code, and then one of the projects under the Call for Code Git repository, you'll see here we've got the Spot Challenge for Samsung Heroes. And that's where we're going to spend the rest of our time today. So we've got our Git repository of resources we want you to go and find and start to dig through. Because and we talk about the challenge, we talk about some examples of what you might build with Samsung Knox, with the weather company, with IBM Cloud. Really set of cool, just build something amazing. Surprise me, surprise Daniel, delight Eric and Julia. All right. There's links here to every one of those work streams and tech talks that we've got, and then we've got a whole set of links that you can go and build. We're going to talk about Slack in a moment because, well, let's talk about Slack now. If you want to come and chat with us, there's a Slack channel over in the Call for Code workspace. And, oh, sorry, small font for you guys. Think of that. But if you come over and scroll down, there is a Samsung Spot Challenge. And I think we got that link somewhere for you. If we don't, I'll put that in the chat. You can join the Call for Code Slack workspace and then go find this channel, because you can come and talk with all of us, and we'll get you connected with the right resources so that you can win the prize. All right, so do encourage everyone to go do that. The next thing we want you to come do is sign up for the Knox Partner Program. And next Tuesday, the Samsung team will guide you through those steps. I registered and we've got some resources for you to help you through that. And we're actually going to turn to that, I think, in a moment, Eric, and you guys could talk through it. And then we want to remind everyone that on the 20th, the challenge closes, and then tune back on December 9th when we announce the winners. I think we're going to do a blog post and we may have come back. We haven't put that on the calendar, but we might come back for a live stream to announce the winners, right? I'm not sure how we're going to actually do that. I think obviously the winners will find out, but we'd love to tell everyone who the winner is, even if you don't or aren't the winner. I'm sure you're interested on who is going to be that. So we've got a timeline. And so let's talk about judging for a minute. We already talked about the prize. You do have to accept the participation agreements. Now, unfortunately, like Daniel and I and the Samsung developers, they can't win. Man, every year I'm like $200,000. I would take that money to the bank, but I can't. I'm not valid, unfortunately.
That was one of the few chances for us to get a phone, but it's
man. So I was hoping, right? If you guys could just sneak one more of those full threes in, it would be really great. It would be fun, All right. So that's the submission. So now what do we need to actually get you guys to win? You need to have a project name, a description. Show us your code because it's a hackathon. We want you to build some code. So there's a Git repository. Share that link with us. Build a little video. So inspire us. Make the judges cry. Tell us about your project in a 3-minute video. Right? Demonstrate your solution. Give a demo. Tell us what you built with IBM Cloud. Watson AI, Samsung technologies, what other resources you built into your project data sets and libraries, and then show us what you might do with it once you're the winner, because we want to go and help you be successful, make this an open source project. So tell us your roadmap. All right. And then we're going to come back. We've got some judging criteria, and we've got a whole platform to help us do the judging. Sometimes we get, hundreds, thousands of submissions. We've got some links for IBM Cloud. We've got some links for the Knox SDK. So if you come back 2 weeks from this week, Thursday, I'll talk about IBM Cloud and how to get some of the APIs. That'll be great. And then next Tuesday, the Samsung team is going to come and talk about the Knox SDK, some of the developer toolkits. Let's turn there now, because we've got some really cool set of stuff here. I hit this link. I did the sign up, and I've already got a whole bunch of smart home Samsung devices. So I've been a Samsung developer registered user for a while, but I had to go create a separate user ID for this one. And I use a special code. You guys have a special code for me this time, which was super fun. It gives me access to some extra things. I'm scrolling for you here. Where is it? I had to use this special promo code to get me in. You guys want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, John. Yeah, so thanks for going through the steps and verifying that it all works. It's always a good thing. So as John mentioned, even if you have a existing Knox Partner Program account, we encourage you to actually use that promo code so that we can quickly identify you and provide better assistance to you. If you have an existing Samsung account, you could use that, or there's instructions here on how to use add a little alphanumeric like a plus, and then you can actually create a separate Samsung account. So you don't have to impact your existing. Yeah, no, it's okay. So it's up to you. You could use your existing Samsung account. You can add a little bit to the end of the existing. And so next Thursday, I think it's next Thursday, as John mentioned, we'll be going over not only the specific tools that you guys can use, but also I'll be going over this in a little bit more detail. So, if you have a little bit of time, you want to check it out, come with questions, that's great too.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that session next week. I mean, love to hear myself talk, but honestly, I'm really here to learn about you guys. And man, if I could win that Z Fold 3, it would be awesome. I can't though. All right, so then we're gonna come back, and so after you submit, we're gonna announce the winners. And so just encourage everyone to build a solution, make your project an open source effort, build a community around it. And we're going to come and help you, not just give you write the check and then send you the Z Fold 3, slip one in a box for John. But this is the best part of Call for Code. It's really helping the teams take that to the next level, make a big impact in your community, really celebrate those everyday heroes. And that's what we want to help you do. All right, I just want to wrap up, give everyone else, my co-panelists, a chance to say any last words if I missed anything, and then encourage everyone to answer the call. Daniel?
Nope. But what I'm doing is I'm taking the GitHub repo you showed, and I'm making it a pinned item on the Call for Code repo. So hopefully it'll be easier to see.
Yes, excellent. That's really great. All right. So remember that we've got a number of events coming up, and we just want to have you back on the 4th and the 9th and the 11th and the 18th and the 16th. And then tune in on December 9th when we announce the winners. Really looking forward to engaging with everyone in our Slack channel. And good luck, everyone.